What's up, everybody? VF. It is hump day. So I advise you to go get a girl and get your humps on. What's going on, everybody? It's Wednesday. First and foremost, before I get into this vlog, I want to thank so many of you there. If I don't say your name, it's not that I don't know you or anything. It's just there were a lot of you. My last vid, which if you want to call it bitching, I guess it was bitching, about the job situation. A lot of you I know shared the video because it's gotten mass results the past couple of weeks, past couple of days. And I can't thank y'all enough. I know my friend, my dude Brian from Denmark, big ups, thanks man. There's a lot of other people, Garrett, some other folks that I know of that has shared the vid. To those individuals on my Facebook fan page, again, thank you so very much for sharing the vid. You know, it's things like this that make progression work. So keep doing your thing, even if you don't know, or even if your friends don't know who I am. You know, just share it with them. Be like, hey, you know, you ain't got to look at all 17 minutes of this video, but try to help this dude out. He's trying the best that he can. If you know somebody that knows somebody, it'll help. But this video today is not about a job. Unfortunately, no. It's about Denmark, actually. And you're probably shocked, like, well, you live in Denmark, man. I mean, what's going on now? Well, I had somebody that actually wrote a comment, and it wasn't on any of my current vids. It was a couple vids back. I think it was about 2-3 years ago. I did a video. It was mainly about Denmark. This person, this individual, wanted to know, you know, what's the greatest thing about Denmark. And I think this is what this plateaued me into getting a lot of views. A lot of my viewers are now Danish and things of that nature. But they wanted to know, you make it sound like Denmark is like the best place on earth. What is so great about Denmark versus the rest of the world? Because, you know, Denmark, you make it sound like it's like heaven. In answer to that, it's not heaven, man. I'm going to be really honest with you. Denmark is like any other country, man. They had their problems. There are some things that are negatively going on right now. If I compared it to the rest of the world, is it better? Probably not. But like any other country, like the States, like Turkey, like Germany, like Australia, they had their issues. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you actually some of the bad things that have been going on that I don't currently like about Denmark. So if you're really sensitive, of course if you're Dane, if you're really sensitive, you might want to go ahead and just stop this video now. But, I mean, just give it a listen, and in retrospect, try to understand where I'm coming from, how I see it from my point of view as an American. When I first came here, of course, I didn't know the language or anything like that, but it's been almost 6 years now. It'll actually be 6 years this June, if I'm not mistaken. The first thing I have to come to grips with that I do not like about Denmark, probably everybody will agree on this that lives in Denmark, the weather. This year in particularly, this from January up until a little bit now, and probably currently shades of last week and last month, the weather's been nasty. Really nasty, I'm not gonna lie. We had some really freakish weather, like April and March is supposed to be, you know, springtime. Hell no. It was snow all on this ground and stuff like that, and I mean it was ridiculous. I mean, I can currently understand November, December, January, February, somewhat into March, but this year was just ridiculous. I currently come from Florida. A lot of y'all ask, you know, why'd you leave sunny Florida, man? It's like, I tell you, man, the women, but it's not about them. What I'm getting at with Florida is it's so, the humidity is, I'm used to that. And when you take something out of its current surroundings and put it into another current surroundings with the temperature and change, it drives you crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I could show you. There was a good reason why I didn't vlog for like a good 3, 4, 5 good weeks. I don't know if you can see it here, but it was peeling real bad. really bad. I don't know if it had anything to do with my sickness. I had a gallstone thing, but that kind of went away. I was mad peeling. My skin was like all just like this here. Almost looked like, you know how Colossus transforms? That's how my skin was all tore up and everything. I couldn't even believe it. I still got some shades of like blister sores and stuff like that where, you know, it hurts. I don't know if you can see that there. That'd probably be the best thing I tell you. Take that and multiply it all over my arms, across my thighs, my legs, my back. Currently, it's down to my feet. My feet are peeling, which is very odd. But all that equals to the negativity of the weather. The weather this year in particular sucked. I'm hoping summertime will be a little bit better. We get into like the high, maybe 20s, 30s, but I don't know. It's really unpredictable. The next thing I could tell you I don't like about Denmark, and this is current. If you saw the last vid, you know I'm still kind of annoyed, pissed off, ticked, whatever you want to call it, about this job situation thing. Denmark is notorious for wanting to have young people work, and I'm fine with that. I understand your point of view on that. The reason is because if you're an adult like myself, you earn a lot more money. So what do the company want to do? They want to get these young guys or young girls, and they want to get them in. They're under 16, 17, 18, fresh out of high school, something like that. And they get their own certain, I guess, wage in their age group. So they would rather take these young individuals that are, and when I say this again, and I didn't mention in the last video, don't take this to heart, teenagers, but I know a lot of y'all, I was a teenager myself. Come on. Fresh out of high school, what do you want to do? You want to go out and you want to party. You want to go out and you want to discover life and all that stuff. You don't want to work a 9 to 5. Let's be honest. You don't want to sit behind the cash register at Netto and be like, beep, beep, beep. Det er 72. You don't want to do all that. That shit is boring. But I will admit, there are some of you that you take your job serious. It's like, hey, I need to make some green. I need to go out and get a car. I got to pay for this. Got to pay for that. If you're one of those people, mad props, respect. No disrespect at all. I applaud you. But in real retrospect, I mean, come on, teenagers. What are we thinking about when we get done with school, man? It's like, oh, wow, man, we get to sleep in late. If you're a dude, you find you a honey, and you bap, 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 bap. I mean, come on, let's be real. So, this thing about taking these young teenagers, it's annoying. It's annoying because I'm not a teenager. Unfortunately, I'm a father. I'm an adult. And I got a kid. And I got a wife. I got a wife that's like breaking her neck basically now to work because now currently again I'm unemployed because of some bullshit. But yet when I go out into the job force, into the workforce, and I look for these jobs, majority of all of them are promising. I mean, hell, I'd take a cash register job at Netto if I could, but they want somebody that's fresh out of high school, as we call a young medarbeiter. They want a young worker. So basically, you can pay them shitty wages, and the work gets done regardless. That's another thing I cannot stand. So I am looking in other places, higher up companies that don't necessarily need the young medarbeiter thing, but there's not much success going on right now. So that would be the number 2 thing I really just dislike about this country. I ain't gonna lie. The number 3 thing. Now I'm kind of somewhat borderline on this, but I do understand because I was raised up in the opposite fashion. For those of you that don't know, Denmark is one of those countries that frown upon disciplining your child. Before I go any further, I've changed my view on that. I didn't like the fact that you could not discipline your child in your own retrospective way, but I now look at it from their point of view, and it really doesn't get you anywhere. So I'm siding with Denmark on this, but I'm just saying I still to this point don't like it. But there isn't anything I could do. Denmark does not allow you to discipline your child. Me growing up, I got beat. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I got tore up. My stepdad, excuse me, because my stepdad was raised up in that same way, fashion from his father. It sprang over to me. Now, I'm an adult now, and I'm 32 years old, and there are times when my daughter, and granted, she's only 14 months old. I would never ever dream of taking a belt to her butt. But now we talking about when we get a little older and we start, building attitude, we sassing back, things of that nature. That's what daddy's worried about. But I mean, that's a long ways from now, right? But what I'm seeing is, like, technically right now, I'm looking outside my window. I don't know, I'll probably show you in a second. There's a playground right outside here. There's a, what they call it, like a Bogelstuen, a daycare. And I'm watching these kids play. And one of them just hit like a little girl. Now, this kid has to be at least 4 or 5 years old, something like that. I could already see in the future that this kid is going to be a problem. So, if it ever came down to like a teacher-parent conference or something like that, and they're like, Mr. Collins, your daughter is blah, 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 and, she's out of control. My current situation for that is we got to fix this problem quick. And I know the best result is not to beat the child. Like you say, spare the rod, spoil the child, and all that stuff. I know. The fact of the matter is, I see a lot of these teenagers now that take rocks to cars. I just currently saw one not too long ago, just random, just standing at the bus stop. He probably was a little bit full, probably was drunk. He decided he'd be badass, and there's this glass plate that stands up next to a bus stop, so you can kind of see through it. See if the bus is coming, all that shit. Especially if it's raining, you stay dry. He just thought he'd be cool ass. He thought he'd be, fucking Superman, and kicked this glass. The first time it ain't shattered, but he put some force into it, and he just broke everywhere. Everywhere. He didn't get a scratch on him. He was lucky. He didn't get a scratch on. First thing I thought about, if that shit didn't cut a major artery, he threw dealing. But see, something like that, I guess, vandalism and stuff like that, Copenhagen is probably the worst for this. Copenhagen has a shitload of graffiti. And I'm thinking, these kids, they probably go up in the middle of the night and they just tag whatever they want to tag, do whatever they want to do. I feel bad for the people in the community that have to look at this, especially if it's a nice community. The community, the area that we live in is very nice. I have not seen any graffiti, any tag, any vandalism. There's just been like teenagers with rocks and stuff like that. And they take, bats to things. Like, you got nothing else better to do. It's the ones like you that need to be out working those netto jobs, but yet you don't want to do it. See, something like that is what bugs me. And if that would have been me in my teenage years, I don't care how old I was. My stepdad would have told my ass a new one. Belt, you call it what you want. He'd have probably beat me with a tree branch if you'd have gave it to him. But this is what I'm getting at. You cannot physically discipline your child, and that is a law. If you hit your kid any point in time, you through dealing. You done. Do not pass go. Do not collect $100. I understand that, and even in retrospect, what I don't get is, why can't you just give them, like, put them on your leg and give them, a pat on the butt, something like that. I'm not saying hard, and I'm not saying, ball up, make a fist. No. I'm just like, hey, get it together. You don't do such. And I'm not saying as a teenager. I'm saying it like a young, but as a teenager, you get past like hand spanks. How do you discipline a child? My wife is like, take the TV, take the car, take the iPhone. They're still gonna find ways of doing whatever they want to do. Sneaking out. Best believe me, I could not, if I wanted to sneak out of my folks' house. No way. And if I'd have successfully done it, I would have hoped to have a key to get back in, because my stepdad locked the door and be like, well, you can sleep outside since you decided to go sneaking out. I can't do that here. I can't do that. So that it's a great rule. It's a great rule for raising children coming from another land, where I do believe now in the States it is also illegal to beat your child. I guess there's a fine line between that. But physically, like beating them with the stitching cord, or like in my last video, the guy that beat his daughters for twerking on Facebook, you can't do that. You can't do that here. That's something that bugged me, but now, you know, I do realize that it's in place for a reason. So there's nothing I can really do. And the last thing, make this super short because I see I'm running a little bit long. I don't get why y'all got to pay for such ridiculous shit here in Denmark. For those of you that don't know, I got a TV. Every household has one. But for some odd reason, I guess every 3 years, or every half year, something, I can't remember specifically, you got to pay for something on this TV to watch it. It's not like cable, it's not UC, it's not Stouffer, it's not all it's something, I guess it's like a TV license. And that has to be renewed like every so often. Where the hell does that come from? I don't get that. I don't get that for the life of me. I don't understand that. Why? I mean, hell, I already had to pay, what, 2,000, 3,000 Danish crowns for the damn TV. Why do I have to pay extra 500 Danish crowns on top of that just to keep the motherfucker? Come on, Denmark, get it together. But that's it. That's to that individual that wants to know, you know, Denmark is not the glam life. If I proceeded to be that way, it's just that at that current moment things are going good. But just like any other country, anywhere else in the world, there are problems. There are things going on. Like currently, right now, there's a lockout in schools. When I say schools, I mean teachers they getting pissed because they're not getting paid enough cash. So they done basically closed down the majority of the schools, and you got kids running around here free screaming and going nuts, you know. So there are generally the same exact things going on. It could be a bomb scare going on, like in the Boston thing. There could be snipers over the hills. So if I make it or perceive it to be that Denmark is the best place on earth, it's because of the current situation that's going on right now. But currently, overall, Denmark is like just any other country. Okay? They had their problems, they had their issues, and when they arise, they arise. I don't necessarily talk about them because they're probably so minuscule compared to the rest of the world. Okay? That was it, guys. Sorry to drag you into this long conversation of boring of nothingness. I would hope to get your comments below. Like the last video, I'm going to start asking you to share these videos, please, because now my goal is to get a little bit more fan base so I can meet some more people. I'm starting to get interactive with some other Danish people, especially some people that are not so huge, but they get things done when you branch out and you what's the word I'm looking for? Not communicate, but when you network with them. That's the word I was looking for, networking. So yeah, make sure you share this video with anybody, people from the States, people from Australia, Turkey, Madagascar, I don't care. Share the video, please, okay? I'm going to go ahead and make me some lunch. Favorite vlogger, guys. Check you guys later. Bye.